Hello, fellow humans. All right. So I actually watched the first episode of Back with the Ex sometime at the end of last week, and then everything got so crazy, and my wife got sent into New Orleans to work, and I just basically sat very still, trying to hold myself together and not completely freak out from an anxiety attack. It's a lot of work just to be normal. I will say that I did manage to get like most of our groceries, nothing crazy. I'm not like hoarding anything. I didn't buy all of the toilet paper and all of that kind of stuff, but I did manage to get some groceries together, and we are doing our part in trying to stay put. We did have a dentist appointment that could not be rescheduled today, and my cat does have to go to the vet. His name is Taro, and hopefully I'll be able to get him somewhere. I'm actually hoping they'll just give me medicine because he gets this all the time, so it's really not something they need to see, but sometimes they say that they do. I don't think so. I think it's money, but whatever. I love him, so I do what I have to. I'm really hoping that I don't have to, though, this time. Just come on and give me the medicine. Anyway, so it's been weird. It's been kind of hard. I have not watched any more of the show. I actually haven't watched any television besides a couple of press releases. I mean, press conferences kind of things. So that's where we're at here. I do hope that everybody is healthy. I hope that you have what you need. I hope that you are taking the precautions and not out there partying, because please don't. Please don't. Look, guys, I don't even know. I'm going to get off the topic real quick and just say this. After the 2016 elections, I really weeded out a lot of people off of my Facebook friends list. And I was like, no, you got to go. Like, I can't. There's a certain line that you cross, and I can't, right? We can have differences of opinions and all of that kind of stuff, but I just cannot. Like, if you're a blatant, bigoted, racist asshole, and you're okay with just putting that out there, I don't want it in my spiritual, karmic, electronic world, right? So I got rid of a lot of people. And then there were some people who kind of fell at that edge where it was like, I love you, and I know that you are a good person, and I don't know how you got swept up in this, but you're not hateful and you're not overly ugly, so I'm just gonna try to work with you, right? This pandemic has made me remove most of them, and I'm probably going to do some more weeding because I have to keep myself sane and as happy as possible. And I am so sad and disappointed by the people who are just like, it's my right as a human here in America, to, be out at bars putting other people in danger. Please stay home. There's so much to do online. There's Netflix. There's like all kinds of Netflix. There's YouTube galore. We can talk all day. There's, museums that are, you know what? I'll put them all down there. There's coloring sheets from museums that are giving free virtual tours. And there is a opera place that's streaming free operas. I will put the links below. There are things to do, you guys. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. I mean, I had to say it. I'm sorry that I brought that to this because I wanted this to be a happy, high energy video, but I feel like I couldn't. Like, I've tried so many times and I just could not. But now that I've said it, I'm going to try to let it go and move on. Okay. So I have some notes on my phone. I did want to go over a couple of things. I have not watched the rest of the shows yet, and I have not spoiled any of the endings for myself. So here's the information that I have, and it was very carefully gotten together so that I wanted to give you guys a pure, this is my first thoughts on this show and these couples. So Back with My Ex is a dating type of show where I guess one of the people in the relationship got in touch and was like, there's somebody I can't get over and I'm mad in love with them and I need to make this happen. So they contacted the other person and said, do you want to come on this basically all expense paid type vacation. I can't tell if it's like 3.5 to 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, somewhere in there. I think it's 3 weeks. I feel like at some point they said 3 weeks, but it's 3 or 4 weeks, about that much time, where they are going to go travel to all the most romantic places. They're going to have dinners and experiences and build a magical relationship with an ex, right? Okay, that's what we're doing. So I have right off the bat, I don't know, guys. I am like, ooh, this is rough, because once that happens, once you have that ex that you are like just building up and building up, 9 times out of 10, probably 9.5 out of 10, like when you break up with an ex, there's a reason behind it. So, once you're apart from that person, you start to build them up and kind of gloss over and like, oh, but if it wasn't for this or if it wasn't for that, right? So that's kind of what we have going on here. And I feel like that's an impossible situation for both people. The person who's idolized cannot possibly live up. Sorry. The person who's idolized cannot possibly live up to this like dream memory that's been built up over years. And the person who has built that memory up is not open to the human that is actually the base of that memory. Because when they get that person, it's like, wait, in my fantasy, you weren't bitching and you didn't have opinions and you went along with everything and you loved me the most. And for this person, it's like, but I am a person. I'm a human. I have my own thoughts. I have my own opinions, and I don't behave exactly. It's like, you just can't win, right? So obviously there's some times when it can work. And here's my opinion on getting back together with an ex. There are certain times. One, if you broke up for merely logistical reasons, if you met on vacation, you really enjoyed them, but you lived on 2 different coasts and your jobs wouldn't let you move or your life wouldn't let you move, fine. It's a perfect relationship, but it's not the right time. So if somehow you wind up in the same place, I say go for it again, right? Great. If you break up because trust is broken or behaviors aren't right, you could try revisiting that, but you have to do it way later, because if you don't, it's just a continuation of the bad relationship. It's got to be enough time that both of you have separated, grown, let go of your hurt and your disappointment, like address the things that you were doing wrong separately for yourself, and you come back together as 2 new people in 1 new relationship. That can work. And finally, I'm not saying that you can't work through things, but it takes a lot. If trust is broken or people are disappointed or feelings are hurt, it takes a lot. The person who did the hurting needs to be able and willing to absorb the blame for that and not be like, yeah, but I felt like I had to say that because, like, no, you did something that caused a breakup. You have got to just go, I did that and I'm sorry. And you have to do that like again and again and again, while this person builds new trust and works through things and experiences like the high of being with you again and the anger that comes with memories, right? So that's one. And then if you're this person, you have to be willing to, yes, go through the anger and communicate through the anger, but also let shit go. You can't get caught up in the whole like retaliation. You can't get even. Things have got to progress. So those are my opinions on getting back together with an ex. Those are 3 times when it might work, but those are, with the exception of the one being that, it was just logistical and y'all are a great couple. Those are rough situations that not everybody really navigates well. And a lot of times, it is my opinion, because girls will be like, but I just want him to be better. Or even guys will be like that. But usually, I'm a female, so I have a lot of female friends. But, and I'm like, here's the thing. He's going to miss you. You're amazing. This is going to be a lesson. The only thing you need to realize is that this lesson is going to benefit the next girl. It's not going to benefit you, because if you go back to him repeatedly, he's not going to learn the lesson. It's a catch-22 there, guys. It just is. So All right, 10 minutes in, let's talk about the couples. Ready? Okay. The first couple have some notes. Jeremy and Meg, they are 28 and 26 years old, and they met 11 years ago. They dated for 7 years and broke up 4 years ago. He broke up with her by moving to London, just leaving. This is an Australian show, and so I think everybody lived in Australia for the most part. But so he moved to London. He comes off as the kind of guy who's just living his life, rolling through life, and shit just works out. When you're like, oh my God, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Work is laying off people. He's like, who cares? Who cares? Just move on. If you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I can make my rent, he's like, find another place. Who cares? Like, he's definitely got that, like, it doesn't matter. It's all supposed to be fun kind of vibe. Like, I don't want to do it if it's not going to be fun, right? And for some people, especially blonde hair, blue-eyed white men, this might work. But it doesn't work for everybody. And oftentimes in relationships like this, it is the woman who might be okay with it in the beginning, but as you mature and you want more and you're thinking about life in a bigger way, you're like, wait, I need a little bit more, like, assurance, security, and I want to build a life, and I don't want to just tumbleweed around with you. So that's the kind of guy he seems to be. Now, red flags. Raise our little red flag. Ready? The first red flag for me is that he says there are two sides to Meg. There's the fun-loving, happy-go-lucky, awesome Meg, and the bitchy, crazy, angry Meg. So this is a red flag because by this time, 4 years after their breakup, 11 years after they were children who met, he is almost 30 years old, and he should realize that Meg is a dynamic person. She doesn't have just two sides. She has an array of emotions, and generally, to go from being very happy to very angry, something went wrong in the middle. As an adult, he should be able to go, we had communication problems, or I wasn't always respectful of her opinion, or Meg and I disagreed a lot, whatever it is he wants to say. But to say that their problems come from the fact that there's just two Megs, and you never know what you're going to get, tells me that he hasn't done the self-work or the growth that it's going to take to come back together as two new people in a new relationship. Because he's still old Jeremy. As far as Meg goes, Meg is nervous. She's a cute little girl. She's nervous. She talks about her heart being broken. Apparently they got back together once before and then he moved again. She feels very abandoned. She's not sure how to trust him. She has like an emotional breakdown when she sees him, runs off to the bathroom. And then she kind of comes back and they talk, and there's some parts where she's just like, sorry, I was just upset. And it's like, no, girl, don't apologize. Own your feelings. It's okay, right? And then there's a couple of conversations. At some point, he's like, oh, maybe we can get along better. And she's like, yeah, if you just agree with me. And it seems like just that quickly, Meg is slipping back into the girl who's just like, okay, yeah, it's my fault. Yeah, I might get a little crazy if you don't agree with me. Which it's like, girl, no, stand up for yourself, be you, right? And she says, he's just the kind of guy who makes you want to have fun. He makes it fun, and because he's having fun, you're having fun, and everything's fun. So yeah, okay, I see this. We know those people where it's like, dude, when I'm hanging out with you, I forget that real life exists, and I have real problems and real shit I need to take care of. And time just goes. The next thing you know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and you haven't gotten any of your shit done. But you had the time of your life, right? But then you have to go to work and you haven't gotten enough sleep, so you're grumpy. And you haven't made yourself lunch, so you're hungry. And everything else is happening. And you come home from work and that person's still on the couch and they're ready to be happy with you again. And you're like, I had the worst day. I'm hungry and I'm tired and I don't want to do this. And they're like, what's wrong with you? You just never want to have fun. Dude. This just doesn't look good. It just raises all kinds of flags for me. So I'm worried. We'll talk about when they get to the hotel room in a little bit, because there's a hotel room. So they get 2 nights of having their own hotel rooms. And I guess then they decide if they're going to like stay together and like travel around. I don't know if they're deciding that or if that's just a given, but that's where we're at. Next couple is Diane and Peter. Diane is 50, Peter is 57. They had a long distance relationship 28 years ago. If you are 14 years old, that is 2 lifetimes. If you're 28, it's a whole ass 1 lifetime, but still, that's a lifetime. Like, they were together, they broke up 28 years ago. They definitely qualify as breaking up long enough for it to be a new relationship under my rules. However, Peter, who is 57 and was married for 20-something years to another woman. He was divorced, I think, 4 years ago. Peter says, ready? Red flag. Peter says, there hasn't been a day that has gone by that I have not thought about her. Peter, that's a problem. You are a full-grown, almost 6-year-old man. The idea that you fantasized about an ex-girlfriend for almost 30 years is a problem. One, if you were in another relationship the entire time wishing you were still with her, then you didn't give that original relationship the work or the attention that it desired and it needed to grow. And that's probably factored into your divorce. But 2, either that's a lie and you're just being dramatic, or it's true, in which case there's no way, under any circumstances at all, that Diane can possibly compete with the Diane you've made in your brain. Not gonna happen. So it's not even a fair expectation to put on Diane. Guys, that's crazy. Okay. They get together, they meet, they seem very happy. I will say this about the relationship. They broke up because Diane is an American and they were young. So she's 50. That was 28 years ago. What's that? Like 22 years? She was like 22 when they broke up. So they dated for a while before that. And we need to remember that 28 years ago, it was 1992. They didn't have FaceTime. They weren't able to talk all the time. They weren't able to like stay in constant connection. I feel like these people, if they would have met nowadays, they'd be on 90 Day Fiancé and they'd be married. And it might have worked out for them. Great. But that wasn't their story. They broke up because of the logistics of her being young and it being expensive and she couldn't, all that stuff. Okay, great. So she gets there. They're very happy to see each other. They seem very connected still. And then he tells her that he's thought about her every day for 28 years, even while he was married. And she's like, oh, that's going to take me some time to process. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. They seem happy to be together. It seems to kind of flow well. And both of them seem excited. She's definitely revisited the thought of him. Maybe not every day for 28 years, but, she has thought about him. Again, we'll get to the hotel rooms at the end. Cam and Kate are our youngest couple at 24 and 22 years old. They broke up 3 years ago after Cam found out that Kate cheated on him. They were high school sweethearts, and Kate is the person who's going to talk to us about how much she missed him and how she can't get over him, how nobody else compares. And here's the thing, guys. I don't believe a word Kate says. She doesn't seem genuine. She doesn't seem real. She doesn't seem to actually be emotionally involved in any of this. I'm confused. Other than the fact that you're getting to go on a 3-week vacation, I don't get why she's here. Oh, and TV. I don't know why she's here. Well, now I do know why she's here. Vacation and TV. But it's definitely not for Cam, right? Cam is a cute little guy. He is like, she hurt him. She hurt him bad. She destroyed his trust. He hasn't had a relationship since then because he finds it hard to trust. He's not really sure about like getting back together with her. I mean, he kind of is like, maybe I'll entertain this, but she scares me because I don't trust anybody because of her, right? She cheated on him. She hurt him. And he's still young and he's still hurt. And she just seems so disconnected. It doesn't seem like her desire is to like make it up to him. It doesn't seem like her desire is to like any of those things, right? It's It's weird. It's strange. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't know. I don't find this very genuine at all. When they first meet, he kind of reaches for her, like to give her a hug, and she's like, "Don't kiss me. You can't kiss me." And he was like, "I wasn't trying to kiss you. You were trying to kiss me." It's kind of weird, and I can't tell if he was actually trying to kiss her and we just missed it because it's on camera and it was like a weird angle, or if, I don't know. But he's like, okay, you know? And I just don't understand. Like, if you destroyed somebody and that's why y'all broke up and that person was warm and welcoming, would you push them so hard? It just seems strange to me. I will talk to you really quickly about their evening, because it's kind of awkward and clunky, and then they get to the hotel and they decide, of course, to be in their own rooms. Now, this is where, this is not a Netflix show, but Netflix is who is dispersing it, or like running it, making it available outside of Australia, but it's not a Netflix show, but it's very Netflix-esque, because both rooms are set up for a romantic evening. Doesn't matter whose room you choose, there are flower petals, champagne on ice, it's very romantic. So, she's like, they get to their rooms right across the halls from each other, and she actually kisses him. Nothing serious, but she kisses him, and then she like tries to dart to her room, and she can't get her door open, so she like narrates it like, "Oh, I can't get my door open." That's not an Australian accent. It's not, but we'll go with it. "This is so awkward. I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. I can't get my door open. How embarrassing. Oh my God." Like on and on and on, right? Not Australian. I know. I'm just saying. So she's like really having a hard time. Finally gets the door open, and then she goes inside. She's like, "That was so, I could just do it over again." She's wiping her little face off. Like, I don't even think she had makeup on, but she's wiping her little face off, and she's like, I don't know. The reason I said that is because you can totally wash your face without makeup, but I think she's using a makeup wipe. I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm not there, but I'm just saying. So she's like, "Oh, should have got the door open. I should have opened the door first. I shouldn't have kissed him. I don't know why I did that." All that kind of stuff. She is just freaking out. But here's why it was so awkward. It's because it didn't seem like something she wanted to do. It was weird. And she had just fussed him earlier about trying to hug her. So he goes in his room and he says, "If this was any other girl besides Kate, I would not want a second date." You guys, my computer is doing all kinds of shit. If this was any other girl besides Kate, I would not want a second date. It was awkward, it was uncomfortable, and I mean, I'm hoping that we can get back in the vibe, because that wasn't good. Yes, Cam, we agree. That was not good. Okay, final couple, because there's only 4. Erik and Lauren. Now, in this situation, Lauren is older. Erik is 32 and Lauren is 36. They dated for 6 years, and then Erik broke up with her via a text message. And this was 6 years ago. So 12 years they were together. Or 12 years ago they got together. They were on and off for 6 years, and then they broke up 6 years ago. So 12 years ago, he was 20 and she was 24. So they were very young. And apparently, he would not let her come over any day other than Sunday. He was extremely controlling and not very warm and not very emotional, right? He still is not very warm or emotional, though he thinks that he knows how to pretend to be now. And Lauren looks very different. She's not the party girl that she looked like in the pictures. She's a different looking girl. And she's a woman now. She's put together. She shows up looking cute. And she's ready. She's not here to bullshit. She's like, "So." I mean, they say hi. They hug. And then in conversation, she's like, "So, you weren't very available. What's different now?" Now, here's the thing. Ready? There's our flag. We're going to raise it. There's our little flag. Dude says, I mean, she's very defensive. She came to dinner on attack. It's not an attack to ask you how you plan on changing what went wrong in the first place. It's smart. We could right now in one dinner figure out that there's no reason to waste each other's time, right? I mean, come on. So he tells her that like he was building his career then, and now he's got his career, so he doesn't have to, and he's looking at different things. She's like, okay. And like, she's kind of asking questions, and she's not asking them in an ugly way. She is kind of peppering questions, and he is mad because he really just wanted her to be excited that he wanted her back. Dude totally thought that, you know what's happening, guys? Side note is my face is itching because I'm telling myself not to touch my face. So now it's like the only thing I want to do. And I'm trying not to touch it so bad. Okay, anyway. This guy is a total D-bag who absolutely thought that she should fall at his feet. That she should just be so grateful. And she's like, bro, 6 years have passed. I'm a totally different girl. I got my shit together. I'm not crying over you. Which is to say something, because a 30-year-old woman and a 36-year-old woman are two very different women, right? 30, if you've been in a relationship since you were 24, you might still be kind of in that young, weird, in-between, not too confident space. But between 30 and 36, you are growing. You are a woman. You got your shit in order, for the most part. So she's like, I don't want to play those games. I am not that girl. And she says that to him. I have changed. You won't even recognize me. And this guy is like, I mean, she was on attack. She's being so defensive. I don't know what's wrong with her. Like, he is flabbergasted that his persona isn't working, right? And she also says she feels like he's not being genuine. You think? But she feels like he's not being genuine because the way he's looking at her and the way he's acting, she feels like it is an act to get her, like, to fall for him. Yes, girl, that's what happens. You're 36 and you can see. This is what 36 is supposed to be. Just saying. I mean, Jessica's got, what, another year to get there? I don't think so, but okay. Try it. Anyway, so yeah, that's our couple. So let's go to the bedrooms. Let's go to the end of the night. And the reason I'm going to package them all together is because 3 of the guys, not Cam, not the little young guy, but Peter, Erik, and Jeremy, were all extremely disappointed that they wound up going to the room alone. Jeremy broke this girl's heart, broke it up, destroyed it 4 years ago, right? Erik destroyed Lauren's heart 6 years ago. And now because they brought them onto a TV show to give them another chance, the girls are just supposed to hop in bed. These guys acted like they deserved some sort of reward at the end of the night. They acted very, even when they said like, we'll see, it was so disgustingly entitled, it was gross. And Peter, who is almost damn near, he is almost 60. And he still acted the same as the other guys. Kind of like, what a disappointment. How sad. What a waste. I was disgusted by these 3 guys. I was totally disgusted. And at the very last minute, on the very last scene, Erik is saying, I mean, the chances are like none that she's going to come over here and knock on my door and want to get with me, right? Basically is what he's saying. And then a knock comes at the door because she's there. And I am praying to the reality TV gods that Lauren has not lost her mind and that she's there to confront him about the fact that he had a bit of an attitude and he needs to get his shit together if he wants to hang out with her for 3 weeks. And not to like make out with him or take it further. Please, please. My predictions for these couples go like this. Jeremy and Meg, I don't think they're going to make it. I'm really hoping that Meg realizes that he is still the like dude bro who doesn't give a shit about anything. Diane and Peter, I'm worried that Peter has idolized her too much and that they won't be able to actually connect. Cam and Kate, I think that Kate is a selfish person who is not on this show for not anywhere near the right reasons. And Erik and Lauren, I don't think that Lauren deserves a trash bag like Erik. I think he's too full of himself, and I don't think it's going to work out. So basically, I think we're going to watch 4 dumpster fires a-burning. And I'll be back to let you know if I'm right. Okay. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I hope you're enjoying. We will do a Love is Blind, and I will be back with some other reality TV. And as always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy and taking care of yourselves and each other. And I look forward to talking with you. Bye.